my panelists who are joining me right now, and let's try to, dissect and analyze what this phase 6 of election means for all the political parties. There are 58 seats that are in the fray. 45 of them had been won by the BJP in phase 6 last time around in 2019. Can there be a repeat performance by the BJP, or is it going to be India Alliance which has come together that is going to outshine? Is there even a possibility that it outshines the BJP? And even if it does not outshine the BJP, is there probability that they can increase their votes and thereby their seats? Advocate Chandni Preeti Shah, amidst all the cacophony that takes place with regards to the barbs that are traded by the opposition and the BJP against each other, which is the India Alliance and the BJP, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just a short while ago finished a rally in Bihar. In fact, he's gone to Buxar as well now. This is his third rally of the day, and it is only half the day that has now gotten over. So which means there could be a rally or two that is going to happen in the next 12 hours as well. The big attack that continues to be by Prime Minister Narendra Modi against the Congress especially is about the reservation, is about how the OBCs and the Dalits and the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe have been kept aside. Their rights and quotas have been snatched away and have been handed over, unfortunately, to the Muslim minority, playing the appeasement card, playing under the garb of secularism, playing the religious polarization card. Now, how much of it is resonating with the people across the country?
Hi, Megha. First of all, good afternoon to everybody on the panel also. What you're saying, whether it resonates with the majority of the people or not is secondary. But what he's saying, whether it is right or not, that's the point. And what he's saying is absolutely right. See, the Constitution of India does not allow reservations solely based on the religion. And the Supreme Court, the apex court of this country, has also laid out this explicitly, that no reservation has to be done on the basis of religion. What Congress has been doing, or rather what INDI Alliance has been doing, is that on the name of appeasement, they have been actually distorting our constitution itself. They have been blaming the BJP of, that if BJP comes into power, it would change the constitution, it would destroy the constitution. But actually that is being done by the Congress, whether it is through their manifestos or through their speeches. I mean, look at how how Sam Pitroda came out. He talked about wealth distribution, whether of course the Congress took back the support from him, but they did actually say it in their manifesto, in their clause number 21, and it exactly reads that we will address the growing inequality of wealth and income through suitable changes. They have said it, and in the same manifesto, they've also said that we will safeguard the minorities under the Article 25 to 30 of the Constitution. Now, when combined together, it does actually reflect what Mr. Narendra Modi has been saying in the rallies, that, if Congress comes in power, it would take the wealth, it would redistribute it, but the minorities, especially the Muslims, would be, safeguarded from it.
Okay, all right. Now, Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, how would you like to comment on that? Because when we see this happening on, in practicality, it is happening on the ground even as we speak under the Manmohan government or previous Congress governments. When we talk about how there has been the quota that erstwhile used to be provided to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC in the Muslim universities and Muslim colleges, whether it was Jamia Millia Islamia or there's another university which is for the minorities, and there used to be a quota for the OBCs and the Dalits, and it was then strategically removed, and all the quota, the 50% of the reservation was handed over to the Muslim minorities. In fact, not just for these colleges, it was replicated in the universities as well. Similarly to the remarks that come out from the RJD, from Lalu Prasad Yadav, saying that Muslim minorities need to be given the reservation, and talking about the other issues that have been raised, and Advocate Chandni did mention that it finds a mention in the Congress manifesto. When the Prime Minister speaks about how the Congress wants to, in its manifesto, provide for Muslim quotas in government contracts as well. When we talk about the Waqf board and the land grab that has happened and the questions that have now been raised by the government of India about seizing their properties, all these issues, when you join the dots and you take them in their entirety, what is it that the message goes out to the public as to what is it that the Congress has been doing and what is it that it proposes to do if it were to come to power?
In my view, you see that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the other BJP leader is trying to set a narrative now because they were rattled by the ground report that the allegations, or rather the narrative by the Congress and India alliance, that the BJP is seeking the 400 votes because they want to change the constitution, was taking the ground, resonating with the people. And it is the BJP's multiple MPs, and you know the name, I know the name, who said that you give 400 votes and then only we will be in a position to change this constitution. And the purpose of changing...
My specific question, do you think there is minority appeasement that has been practiced by the Congress when it was in power for the last 60-65 years? And I've given you examples, especially in 2011 under the Manmohan Singh government, where the quotas that were erstwhile given to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and the OBC that were taken away from Jamia Millia Islamia and they were handed over directly to the Muslim minorities. Was there a specific reason this was done for? Or would you categorize it as Muslim minority appeasement?
So obviously, I am not privy to what could have been the real reason because I am not the part of the decision making. But I strongly denounce...
the point, I'm asking you directly. You being a citizen of the country, when something like that happens, and how do you react to this? And then at this point in time, are you wondering when there is wealth distribution survey that is being promised by the Congress, when there is inheritance tax that is being promised by the Congress, when there is caste census that is being promised by the Congress, and we take a look at the manifesto and there are reflections of how Muslim minorities need to be provided an affirmative action. Would there speculation be in the minds of the public, the 140 crore people, that what exactly is the agenda of the Congress here?
No, obviously. So I will answer to each of your questions. See, the question of wealth distribution. So do you not agree that in 10 years, the very sweet distribution of wealth has happened where the richer and a very limited section of populations are becoming richer and richer, while the rest of the populations are getting poorer. There are reports, there are national and international reports, which says that in the last 10 years, the concentration of wealth or the distribution of wealth has happened in a way where the richer are becoming richer, while the benefits of the development or while the economic development benefits are not percolating to the other rest of the people, and thereby the divide between the rich and poor are basically now alarming. Therefore, any government, it is the responsibility of the government that the economic resources of the country are distributed in a way that every section of the society should get the benefit of the economic development, should get the benefit
so
of
then what are you going to do? What does the Congress propose? Are they at this point of time going to scan the properties and the bank accounts and the gold reserves and the gold and other jewelry and other valuables that individuals have, whether they are middle class or the upper class or the businesses? are you then going to scan the incomes and the properties and take them away and then give to the poor? And when you give
So,
to the
Megha,
poor and you're doing the caste census, and when you talk
no,
about
no,
the
so
Muslim
Megha,
minority appeasement, what percentage of this wealth that has been taken away from the rest of the country and its citizens is going to be pocketed by the Muslim minorities? Third of all, if such an action is taken, would people be encouraged to work hard, to be more enterprising, or are they going to then sit and talk about how their wealth has been taken and what is the point of actually putting in effort, putting in energy, putting in their hard work and sweat to be enterprising and become entrepreneurs in the country?
So I very strongly disagree, and it's very unfortunate that this kind of narrative is being set out. If anybody in this show reads a single line from the Congress manifesto, one, quote a single sentence said by any Congress leader which says that I will snatch away the wealth of the people, I will snatch away your gold, I will snatch away your jewelry, I will unlock your bank account, and I will
What I'm just
distribute the
saying, then
money to the minority.
if you are
It
talking
is
about a wealth redistribution survey, that's what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to gauge, because I don't understand how is the wealth redistribution survey going to happen if you are not going to scan the bank accounts and the balance sheets of the entrepreneurs and the businesses that are functioning. If you are not going to scan the incomes of the people and take a look down and scan and identify what is the cost of the properties that they have inherited from their forefathers, from their ancestors, how exactly, if this is not the way it is going to be done, then which way is it going to be done?
No. I'm answering the way it is going to be done, that the benefit of the economic development, the arms of the government do not work for the benefit of selected fews only, which is happening today. I will not take the name, where you say the wealth of few identified individual is multiplying 100 or 200 times, where the poorer are becoming poor, where they are being hit by the price rise, where they are being hit by the unemployment, and nobody is ready to take care, where 80% of the population is forced to live on 5 kilo of grain which is being provided to them. This is the
25
real
crore
problem.
people in our country in the last 5
Yes.
years have been uplifted from poverty. This is not just a Government of India report. This is a report that has been made in terms of the calculations and ground reports that have been formulated by international agencies. Is there a better way of figuring this out? Because communism has not functioned well in Russia, it has not functioned well in China, as has been the reference that has been taken. If you take a look back into the history of all these countries, communism, Marxism is something that and when you talk about capitalism, and that's how democracies of the world function. Why is capitalism, why is somebody who wants to earn more money being looked down upon? Why is social welfare at this point of time being propagated by the Congress is something that I'm talking about. In which world are we living where there is a developing country who has utilized measures such as wealth redistribution to then ensure that there is going to be symmetry and equality amongst all individuals living in the country? Will this not be detrimental to the economic growth of the country, the GDP growth of the country, the per capita expenditure bearing capacities and per capita income of individuals in our country is what I'm asking, sir. And you completely missed the point about the minority appeasement that is happening. I've asked some pointed questions. You mentioned about you may not be privy to the reasons why the government did it, but you as an individual, when you hear this, perhaps you did not even know that something like that existed, because unfortunately these Disinformation, these kind of information are buried under the carpet. They are not spoken about, and there are other issues that are tom-tommed about. So when these things happen in our country, does this not cast aspersions on the Congress about what its agenda is when it talks about Muslim minorities? Mind you, Muslim minorities has been mentioned in the manifesto of the Congress. There may be the Congress leaders and Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who may want to refute it till the cows come home, but that does not change the fine print that has been mentioned in the Congress manifesto. And mind you, there is reference of how there are going to be quotas that will be put in, promised by the Congress, Muslim quotas that will be provided by the Congress if it comes to par in the government contracts, which means that if roads are going to be built, if there are civil infrastructure that is going to be built up, there is going to be a certain specific percentage that will be provided compulsorily to the Muslims. How do you have to react to it?
No, let me answer to each of it. See, the bogey of Muslim appeasement has the central point of the narrative by the BJP, which tried to create a fear mongers among the majority. It is the first political narrative I have ever heard where the 80% of the population is fear mongered about the 20% or 50% of the population. This is the narrative which is unique, which is being built here, where 80% population is always being bombarded with a thought that the 20% people is going to rule over you, they are going to destroy your temple, they are going to lock your houses, they are going to snatch away the property from you. So this false narrative is being set out time and again. That there are reports which says that the Muslim as a community, not as a religious community, but as a community, are one of the weakest in terms of socio-economic index is concerned. So any effort to bring the weaker section of the society into the mainstream has to be necessarily inclusive in terms of including.
Okay, I get your point. But I'm saying when you take a look at the larger canvas, when you take a look at what is happening in Karnataka that is governed by the Congress, there is 4% quota that has been given to the Muslim minorities. And
But that was not done on the name of
religion. Sir, I'll tell you what it was done for. It was done under the rule of the JDS, where the UPA was in power at the center, and that quota is given to every single Muslim. There is no distinction made of the Muslim population in Karnataka. So every single person who falls under the category of Muslim community has been given this 4% quota, and this 4% quota has been taken out from the OBC, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe quota. So the question over here is, why cannot the Muslim minority be given quotas, be included in the quotas under the OBCs without having to specify, without having to take away that 4% and hand it over to the Muslim minorities? Why is this distinction being made by the Congress? Why are they hell-bent on providing Muslim quotas? If this is not Muslim appeasement and religious polarization, then what is?
No, that's the reality. See how this question is now bringing into the mainstream of the discussion. I understand that, but you know that, as you rightly said, this reservation was done by the JDS, who is now the part of the BJP alliance in Karnataka. That decision.
Now you're talking about this is being done by the JDS when it is part of the BJP. Sir, I again repeat that the JDS was in power at the state, UPA was in power at the center. Such decisions have to be made only when approval is given by the central government. A state government cannot take this decision individually. Nods have to be given, approvals have to be given by the central government. A similar proposal was provided by Andhra Pradesh to give 25% of the quota to Muslim minorities, which is of the total 50% reservation for the OBC, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The central government has rejected this proposal that has been sent out by the Andhra Pradesh government under
correct,
the BJP that is ruled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the last 10 years. All right, I'm out of time. I thank both of you for joining me on.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.